So welcome everyone to this overview of the pilot experiment at Grimsby Volcano in Iceland, where we investigate the use of distributed acoustic sensing or DAS for subglacial volcano monitoring. I am John Clement M. Carandang, a third-year geological engineering student at Batangas State University. So over the next few minutes, I'll take you through the motivation, methods, key results, and what this means for future volcano monitoring. So, have you ever wondered how we monitor volcanoes buried under glaciers? So, these are called subglacial volcanoes, and they are especially dangerous. So, when they erupt, they can cause massive floods also called yokoloops, and sends ash into the sky, which disrupts air travel. But because they're hidden under thick ice in remote areas, it is really hard to track the small earthquakes that often comes before an eruption. So that's where this study comes in. In 2023, Klassen et al. Or a team of researchers tested a new technology called distributed acoustic sensing, or the DAS, instead of using regular seismometers. And this DAS turns fiber optic cables into thousands of tiny sensors that listens to ground vibrations. So now let's talk about how the experiment was actually done. In spring 2021, Klassen et al. Headed to the Grimsby caldera, and their goal was to test whether a fiber optic cable could reliably pick up seismic signals under glacial conditions. So to do that, they buried a 12-kilometer long optical fiber directly into the surface of the glacier. So they used a snow cut with a custom plow to dig a shallow trench, and this setup allowed the cable to be placed quickly and safely in the snow and ice. And the entire deployment took only 3 days, which is impressively fast for such a remote and harsh environment. So furthermore, the fiber was connected to a Silica IDAS version 2 interrogator, and this unit was installed in a small field hut, which is powered by generators, batteries with a GPS clocks that for precise timing. So the system recorded at 200 Hz with data points spaced every 8 meters using a 10-meter gauge length, and that implies extremely detailed seismic data across the entire 12-kilometer. Detailed seismic data across the entire 12-kilometer of cable. So this setup worked continuously for nearly a month, collecting a 1.35 terabyte of data. And the design proved that even in one of the most extreme environments on Earth, the DAS can work relatively with simple equipment and efficient field logistics. So in this study, the researchers leveraged the unique spatial resolution of distributed acoustic sensing to automatically detect microseismic events. So given the enormous volume of data, manual analysis was simply not feasible. Therefore, they developed an image processing algorithm designed to exploit spatial coherence, which is one of the DAS key advantages. So the raw strain rate data was first trended and bandpass filtered, but no other preprocessing was needed thanks to the remarkable quality of the recordings. And each time-space data was each time-space data segment was treated as a 2D image, and every pixel was assigned a binary value, which is either true or false based on the amplitude intensity. And the algorithm proceeded to eliminate horizontal lines clusters caused by optical noise, which affect individual DAS channels for a few seconds, and it also filtered out small incoherent noise clusters that impacted a few channels over brief windows. So what remained were larger spatial temporal clusters that indicate coherent wave propagation. So using this method, they identified approximately 1,828 events during the recording period, averaging between 50 and 150 events per day. So this is a nearly 100-fold increase over what is recorded in the national SIL network for the same region, and only about 1.3 of the DAS detected event was present in that official catalog. So this is an example of a waveform in the raw data, which is visually distinct from the optical noise, and between kilometers approximately 9 and approximately 11.5 along the cable, I-sheet resonance with dominant frequency of 200 Hz is visible, which is present throughout the data. So next, this figure shows an example of a tiny earthquake recorded by the fiber optic cable at the study area. So in A, we are looking at how the ground movement traveled along the 10-kilometer cable over time, and each row represents a different point on the cable, and each column is a different time. So the diagonal lines you see are the earthquake's wave arriving at each point. So the color represents how fast the ground was stretching or compressing, with warm and cool tones showing motion in different directions. So near the top, there's a horizontal feature that and this might be a type of wave trapped under the ice. So from B through E, zoom in on parts of the signal to show how the arrival times of waves were picked. So the solid black lines show where the signal was clear and strong, and the dashed lines show where the computer filled in the gaps when the signal was weaker. So lastly, in F, it gives an even closer look at how the first part of the wave, and again, the black line traces the moment when the wave reached each spot on the cable. And on this slide, we see two magnitude frequency distribution that highlighted the impact of the DAS deployment. So in A, it shows the distribution derived from the DAS dataset collected during the spring 2021 field experiment, and they were able to detect over approximately 1,800 events with local magnitudes ranging from approximately 3.4 to 1.7. And this remarkably low detection threshold is a direct result of the excellent coupling of the fiber optic cable with the ice and close proximity of the cable to the hypocenters. So the cumulative distribution exhibits a b-value and approximately 1.5, which is consistent with expectations for volcanic environment and reflects a predominance of small magnitude events. On the other hand, B presents the 30-year earthquake catalog from the Icelandic Meteorological Office. So the traditional network, while valuable for regional monitoring, has a higher magnitude of completeness and misses many of the smaller events captured by the DAS. And despite this, the catalog still shows a similar B-value of about 1.51, supporting the reliability of the result. So taken together, these plots underscore the capability of DAS to detect microseismicity that escapes conventional networks, and this ability to record fine-scale seismic activity enhances the understanding of subglacial volcano and supports the use of fiber optic sensing as a powerful monitoring tool in hazardous and remote volcanic environments like the Grimsbotn. So here, we compare seismic event distributions recorded by the DAS experiment with those from the Icelandic Meteorological Office National Earthquake Catalog. So in A, it shows event detected and located using GIS during the 1-month deployment at Grimsbotn in 2021. So a total of 726 events with high confidence location are plotted here, and the DAS network revealed 3 distinctive clusters of shallow microseismicity highlighted by the blue ellipse labeled 1, 2, 3. So these clusters appeared especially correlated with known surface volcanic features, including major cauldrons and fumaroles, suggesting a likely geothermal origin for much of this activity. So the dense spatial sampling of DES and its sensitivity to small logical events allowed to detect seismicity that was previously undocumented in this region. So in contrast, in B shows the 30-year review from earthquake catalog from the Icelandic Meteorological Office. So while it captures a broad southwest to northeast trending zone of seismicity, it notably lacks the concentration of events in cluster 1 identified by the DES system. So the discrepancy highlights the limitation of traditional seismic networks in detecting low magnitude events, especially in challenging environments like the subglacial calderas. And the DES deployment effectively lowers the detection threshold and provides a fine-scale view of the seismic landscape, offering new insights into the volcano's subsurface processes. So overall, this study demonstrated the distributed acoustic sensing, or DES, is a powerful and practical tool for monitoring subglacial volcanoes like Grimsby. So despite the remote and hazardous environment, it has been successfully deployed a 12-kilometer fiber optic cable, achieving the high-quality seismic recordings over a 1-month period. So the DES-based approach detected over 1,800 seismic events, nearly 2 orders of magnitude more than in the national catalog, with magnitudes as small as approximately 3.4. So it has been observed clear clusters of microseismicity near known geothermal features, pointing toward a volcanic or hydrothermal origin. So this fine-scale seismicity invisible to conventional networks underscores the advantage of DES in revealing the dynamic behavior of active volcanic systems. So importantly, all methods developed ranging from image-based event detection to probabilistic Bayesian inversion were fully automated, paving the way for real-time volcano monitoring in extreme environments. So the results mark a significant step forward in volcano seismology and highlight the untapped potential of fiber optic sensing for improving early warning system and hazard assessments. So that's all for this presentation. Thank you for listening.